So greetings and welcome to this broadcast for today, continuing to expose the lies and the manipulation, the conspiracy theories, the plan of the enemy, the devil Satan, against the government of God and the people of God. We are here to shut it down, to stamp our heel on the head of the snake and crush it out of existence. That is what we are here for. And we shall continue the mission to dismantle and destroy any plan of the enemy against the good citizens of Guyana, against the great government of Guyana, the People's Progressive Party government, from any interference in Guyana, out of Guyana, and whatever so-called diplomatic coalition. We are going to resist all of their plans to destroy our country. This is not the days of Burnham, when they collided with Burnham to destroy Cheddi Jagan, to destroy the PPP, to destroy any chance Guyana had to regain independence. It in that time. This is a different time. So all them so-called diplomats from whatever embassies, Western diplomats, say whatever the fuck you want. At the end of the day, everything that happens in Guyana, everything that happens regarding how Guyana is governed, is decided by one man and his cabinet. That is Irfan Ali and his cabinet. Not America, not Canada, not Europe. Guyana decides how Guyana is governed. So the rest of you, Western diplomats, enjoy your free reign as kings and queens in a country that you have not in any way contribute to, other than encourage division and all these things. Because if you had anything about democracy, about the safety and security of Guyana, you, the American diplomat, and all the others, if you had any interest, you would not have pressured or appeared to have pressured our government to convene the parliament for that lunatic that you want to extradite in becoming opposition leader. Don't be a flip-flopper. Now, the same man that you talked about, you're 100% sure he's going to go to jail, the same man you are now helping to push a narrative that they are being sidelined by a government that you claim to support because the government stands for law and order. You people are a bunch of hypocrites. So is the West. So is the West. Look at the rest of the world. Listen to the sentiments of the citizens of the rest of the world against the West. So your words are not valid, as if it's sought. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm your precious gift, Dr. L. Prasad. Your precious gift. Like I've said before, without your support, without your backing, I am nothing. I will cease to exist. You are the one that is the reason why I am still existing. You, the people. Now, oh, by the way, The other volume is out. I received this copy from their publishing today. Prince Ali and the President, Narcissist, Zebrong Betrayal, from the Personal Account series of Kenny Warner, Volume 6. I want you to understand my mindset. I can't exhaust it by coming on the platform and talking on it. I can't. It's too vast. For you to understand, you have to buy the books. You have to read the books. Don't just buy it and say, well, I have a copy of Dr. Prasad in your shelf, like a lot of Christians. They walk with it to church, but they don't read it. They never read it. I don't know that. If you're going to buy the books, buy it and read it. Discuss it, talk about it, question it, prove it, substantiate it, research it. All of the books. Don't just buy it. It's not about the money. And again, for me to even begin to earn anything on book sales, you're talking a few 100,000 books. And that ain't gonna happen. I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic. Okay? I'm being realistic. There are too many people that are praying that nobody buys my books. Too many people. They're holding special church services. They're fasting, begging Jesus and begging whoever to make sure that my books don't sell. Not because they hate me, it's because they're just jealous. Those people can't read, because if they could, this is the evidence you need to criticize me. Yeah, I know the books are getting thicker and thicker and thicker. I know. Yeah. So if you want to criticize me, you want to hold something against me, read the book. There are a lot of stuff in the books you can hold against me. Evidence is in the book. But they don't read. But they don't want the books to sell because they don't read. Nonetheless, Prince Ali and the President, Narcissist, Debunking Betrayal. I want to tell you a bit about what this book represents. From the beginning, remember when I made that viral clip a while back, almost 2 years, I think. Yeah, but around that time, maybe a year ago or a bit longer. On my previous account, before they shut down 2 and 3 after that, when I said that I stand with the Indo-Guyanese community. Remember when I said that? Those of you can remember. When it got close to 600,000 or maybe more views. The attack I got, the attack for that video, it was amazing. And from then I started to document, to add to the volumes I had before. I had to record most of what I stand for on my shows. So people understand that I am no fake Indian. I'm a hypocrite. I'm not running for office. I'm not trying to get votes. I'm not telling people what they want to hear because I want something from them. The majority, I've said many times, the majority of the poor people in Guyana are Indo-Guyanese, not black people. Indian. Poverty exists largely in Indo-Guyanese communities, not black people. Afro-Guyanese talk. They're loud about if they don't have bread to eat or they can't afford to buy milk or whatever it is. They're loud, they chat, and everybody has to know that. But there are thousands of Indians who go to sleep with hunger, who go to school with hunger, and nobody knows. They bear that. They sacrifice because what? They're programmed to aim for the prize. And the prize is what? Growing up, finishing school, excelling at school, getting your degree, starting a business or getting a job, going to some other place, but continuing the struggle so that your parents don't have to die in hunger. I would know that. You understand? A fake Indian wouldn't know that. A coolie would not know that. A true Indian would know that. I have recorded from the ship from Calcutta to Guyana to the president we have today, the struggles of the Indian. The reason why I titled the book Narcissist, it is because it is sad that despite the hidden struggles, the known struggles, this historical marginalization that Indo-Guyanese faced, and not just Indo-Guyanese, the diaspora, despite that, nobody paid attention to the pain they experienced. They're only seeing the successes of the Indians today. And because of the fact that they did not know that Indian people, as a religious principle, are not isolationist, but they're family oriented, stay within the parameters of the family. They're saying they're narcissists. Oh, Indians are narcissists. Ali is a narcissist. Jagdi is a narcissist. That's what they're saying. So I decided to caption the book, Narcissist, to detail. The reader would get to understand who the true narcissist is. It's not the Indian. The betrayal of the brown people. That's why it's the brown betrayal. Because for those who want to sound modest, they say, oh, they're brown people. They're brown people. Okay, fine. But when I say brown, you know it refers to Indians. Read the book. If you hate me, if you are Indo-Guyanese or an Indian anywhere, and you still see me as black, fuck you. Besides the fucking you, buy the book. Forget the black thing. Forget he's trying to be Indian. Forget all that shit. Put it aside. Get it off your head. Clean your head. Get the book. After you read it, all the Indo-Guyanese on the win side that is fighting for Azruddin and fighting for Norton and the PNC, and who hates the PPP, this isn't a propaganda book. My books are not propaganda. I'm not promoting one people and bringing on another one. That's not what I'm doing. Don't judge it by not before reading it. But when you read it, you will see that I am more of an Indian than you that are born Indian. You will see. But then again, that's not my point. I want to structure your thinking to let you understand if you are going to support anything in your life, if you're going to take any stand in your life, whatever it is, you must first take a stand by virtue of your ancestral struggle. Because when the Africans take a stand, that's what they think of. That's what their leaders tell them. Remember slavery. Remember who enslaved you. Remember this. And no matter how the rest of the world is good to the African, That don't decide his position when it comes to making decisions on political issues. Race decides for the African race. So you have to stop being Mr. Nice Guy and understand that no matter how you twist it, it always comes down to who struggled for you. Look at it. Look at the cover. So I'll read something, as I usually would do. I'll read something from the book. Yeah. Let's get to... You better like reading. I know a lot of you don't like reading because, like, oh, it's a headache. It's not a headache. Let's take something from the first chapter. It's encouraging to read. I didn't write the old-fashioned way for people to, oh my God, so much words. I write modern, try to adapt to today's environment. Ships from Calcutta. Subtitle Narcissist, blah, blah, blah. Long before the oil, long before the elections, long before modern Georgetown became a city of traffic, concrete, politics, and ambition, there were ships, dark ships, slow ships, ships carrying human beings across black waters toward a land they did not know, could not imagine, and would never truly escape emotionally for generations after. The story of Indo-Guyanese people did not begin in comfort. It began in desperation, in hunger, in deception, in survival. I'll let you think on that for a moment. Go to Amazon.com. Before the show, I'm going to read some more. And get a copy. Prince Ali and the President, Volume 1 to 6. Anyone, you can choose that. It is sad when you look at the environment of politics in Guyana and how things have changed. Not for the better, for the worst. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating to see how real politicians, real educated, well-structured politicians have to step out of their comfort zone to deal with the ghetto that was brought, the mud, the mess, the shittiness that was brought into the arena by somebody who doesn't belong there, who should have never been there in the first place. And that person has lowered the standard, fuck it. Azruddin Mohammed has lowered the standard to such a level that it's embarrassing for the average politician in Guyana to even declare that he's a politician. The same way you have a lot of Guyanese who still to this day are embarrassed to acknowledge that they're Guyanese in other countries because of the stigma that is associated with Guyana. The same way now we have in Guyana, politicians in Guyana is like, even though the public knows you're a minister, you're a politician, they're like, I'm forced to be there. I don't want to be there, but I have to be there. Simply because they have to now associate themselves with the likes of Amanza Walter Desir, Simona Brooms, and these fuck-ups from the PNC, and this asshole from WIN. They don't belong there. They'll be better off doing their corrupt jobs in whatever area they do it. You have to constantly confront their lies and their conspiracy and their made-up stories constantly. It's exhausting. So let's deal with some of that. First off, the Indians from the company that is accused of smuggling and trafficking, 38 grown men, held them, past tense, held them as human slaves, mining rocks and whatever else they're doing for 3 years. Yet in that space of time, the accusations they have leveled against the company, none of them were malnutrition, none of them were hospitalized or had to go to the hospital for any condition that is associated with starvation or poor diet or whatever it is. None of them. They're all strong, physically fit, healthy looking men. For whatever reason that may have been engineered by this lunatic opposition leader, accidental opposition leader, Azruddin Mohammed, this thing burst. Nobody else is aware of their plight. Nobody else. Not the company, not the ministry, not the government, not the police, nobody else. Suddenly he happened to bring this out. And all these 38 men, every one of them, stood in one accord, had one message. Remarkable, amazing. Every one of them had the similar complaint. 38, not 5, 38. And you think the Mohammeds are not cunning and crafty? Oh, they are. Infiltrated a foreign company that he had his eye on, that quarry, Region 7, Mohammed had his eye on it and he couldn't get it because of his crimes. And even before the crimes, he couldn't get it. Had the agenda for years, looking for something to bring against that man of that company. And they finally achieved their objective, paid whoever they had to pay, maybe $1 million Guyana each. Got the publicity he wanted. But the company, which was pressured to hold a press conference and make a statement, they were pressured to do that. Don't be arrogant. You know, they like to say, oh, they're narcissists. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist. So for not being labeled a narcissist, they came out and they said, okay, listen, all of it is a lie. They weren't starved. They weren't poorly housed. They were paid more than the average Guyanese. They were treated fairly. Their passports were not held without the possibility of returning it. It was for look out for the interests of the workers, safekeeping. You are in a strange country. You know nothing about the environment. You came here for work, not to socialize. That's it. The company's responsibility to protect you, to keep you safe. Based on the contract, if you want to break the contract because you come on a 5-year contract, if it's a 5-year contract, you need leave to go to your family, whatever it is, then the company, you negotiate that with the company. You have the opportunity to send money to your relatives. They go to the office where the company has in India, they go take the money there. You want to leave, you're free to leave. You negotiate your terms of leaving. You notify the company 3 months or whatever it is before, look, I would like to quit this job. I'm giving you 3 months notice or 6 months notice. They can get a replacement in the meantime. Every company, there's a small clause with contracts. You break the contract, you have to pay me. Azruddin, he should know better. His life is about contracts. His businesses are about contracts. He understands these clauses. He knows you can't trust people when it comes to contracts. You have to make sure they sign, agree to the terms before you do whatever has to be done. The company debunked all the lies. Then they twist the story. Oh, they were held for 3 years and they can't allow to leave. This man is such a fucking liar, man. This guy is such a bitch ass little pussy. Seriously. Everything he turned to Irfan Ali. You know, if that minister of labor, you know, every black person has some violence in him. Every black person. That's a black thing. I'm not exempt. Like I said I was biologically born as a Negro. So I have some in me. And at the right time, I can unleash it. If I was the minister and that little junkie came on my premise and brought those workers that had nothing to do with me or my government or my ministers or my officers, nothing to do with us, and he barged on, break through security and come, I would have descended the stairs, my office, took off my jacket. And Azruddin, I'm telling you, I would have bitch slapped your stupid ass and then let the cops come and charge me. I would have bitch slapped your dumb ass, you little pussy, and then let the cops come. I would be within my rights because you are on my premises. You have trespassed. You have no permit, no permission to come on my premise to demonstrate. I would have done it and get out the little niggeritis from me. Just get it over with. But I would use it on you, Azruddin. I would have. If I was the president, oh, I would be the second dictator, but not as bad as the Demon King. But I would only be a dictator against you, Azruddin, you. No country or no ambassador, nobody can tell me shit. I would have instructed the Speaker of the House, if he came from my party, to dismiss your ass from the assembly. And I would have made sure that my Ministry of Legal Affairs challenged and sued GCOM for not acknowledging the laws on candidates' credibility to enter into politics. If you wanted to say it was a dictator would do that, then fine, I would have been a dictator. Who would have done it? Because today, all the nonsense that's happening today never happened before. As bad as the modern PNC was, on the Granger and Norton, as bad as they were, nothing compared to what this shithead is doing, nothing. And now they have to compete with him. Now they have to compete with Azruddin because they're competing now for the constituents that they lost. They have to find a way to recall all the Negroes that went across to win by showing them that, hey, that guy you're following is an asshole. We can do better. We can spy on the PPP. We can also do propaganda. We can create lies. We can do worse than we did before. So you have Amanza rising up, Simona Broom's rising up, and this gay guy, this wannabe woman, Mahi Paul. But he is risen a long time. His ass is always ready to compete with Azruddin. They're all competing for the same people they lost. He's competing to keep the blacks. They're competing to win the blacks back. Because they can't penetrate the world of Chetty. They can't penetrate the land of the PPP. They can't. The PPP's supporters are immune. They have the Chetty vaccine that has immune them, give them immunity towards the stupidity and the bullshit coming from this idiot side. So what they do, they're all now pushing their own fake news, their own fake this and fake that. Amanza Desir, backward Guyana. Don't forget, you lost miserably. So the fact that you're thinking, you're smiling now, because you believe that is as a result of your stand on the parliament convening, these so-called diplomats came out and made collective statements against the government regarding the parliament not convening. You want to take credit for that, Amanda? As our legendary Gail Teixeira said, this is about pushing, and I'm requoting her. I'm in my own words, is going to say what she said. Pushing this narrative that the government is not doing the service to the Guyanese people. So these diplomats want to side with the other side. They don't want to hear from the husband. They're going to listen to his bitch ass wife, who is saying, oh, he doesn't give me money. He's starving the children. I went with the other guy because he doesn't have time with me. He's always tired. He comes home late. But they never talk to the husband and say, hey, why is she saying this? Then the husband will say, check her phone. Check her phone. So they would not consult the government because the government should consult them. But anything that came out of the PNC and the win on these people, these so-called diplomats, they run out and they mouth up. So the Guyanese people might think they are the watchdogs to democracy. They are there to protect the interests of the country, and they are fucking non-citizens of Guyana. They are there because their governments appointed them to look out for the interests of their governments. So what does Canada, America, and Europe has to do with Guyana's parliament scheduling date? What do they have to do with that? Do they have contracts that are pending that they need the Guyana parliament to discuss in the parliament? What is their interest in that? Zero. Only to join with whatever community to continue to push a narrative that is against the Ali government. All of them is jealous of the Indian boy, as they call him. Jealous. And if you want any evidence to the biasness of the West against the PPP, any evidence, look at 2020. Look at 2020. Look at 2015, 2014, 2015. The elections with Granger and Ramatar. Ramatar didn't lose the elections. He was bullied to hand over. He didn't lose the election. It was taken from him. Bullied. You understand? And it almost happened to Ali. Almost the same playbook almost happened to Ali. And all these Western diplomats, how did they handle it? Why don't they pronounce on the current ongoing court case with the PNC people who tried to rob and rig the election since 2020? It's 2026 and the case can't be resolved. But they say nothing on that. The UN, nobody says anything about that. But they're quick to push their mouth into issues that has nothing to do with them. In 2020, how long did the government Ali took to get the presidency? 6 months? How long? Look at the pain. Look at the violence. Look at all that the Indo-Guyanese and Ali and all the others suffered to stand up for what was right. Where were the diplomats then? And now for every stupid thing they're mouthing up, every little stupid thing they're mouthing up, Well, I say fuck that. The government is the government. The parliament shall convene when the government says so. Sadly for me, it's the 5th of June. Sadly for me, I say never. But Gail Teixeira, the parliamentary minister, says this the 5th of June. It has already been on the schedule. So it looks now that the PPP is afraid of the black people because a black woman talked out against it and she got all these others to echo her sentiments. And what do you know? The Indians bow. The Indians bow. When the black people speak up, the Indians bow. That's exactly what it looks like. I have an issue with that because it shows weakness. Because if that's the perception, it shows weakness. The government cannot move until they're criticized, pressured by the PNC. Then they get afraid and then they start to make changes because, oh, the opposition is criticizing. Why it always has to be that perception? Every time, that's the perception. Why can't the government just have the initiative and don't get your spies? If you haven't thought of something, if you underestimated a situation, get your spies. Hey, check this out. What are they planning to come with? Well, they want to talk about the drainage in this area. Okay, good. Let's get on it before they get a chance to come out with it. You get on it before, you be proactive. Don't give them a chance to criticize because they take credit. When they criticize and it seems like if you acted after they criticize, they get the credit. And it tells the citizens, you see, they expose corruption with the government, and because they expose corruption, the government is coming now and trying to cover it up. Same thing with the giving out of contracts. The other day, when it was brought to a standstill, because opposition leader and everybody else talking about old friends and family getting contracts, confusion with the contracts, it stopped. We have to revisit and check these things out. It cannot continue like that. Be proactive. Don't wait until these assholes start criticizing something you do. Then you're going to stop it and act on it, and then they get the credit. Oh, this is a true opposition leader. He's holding the government accountable. The smart citizens of Guyana know that that's not the case. But your problem is not the smart ones. Your problems is those dumb ones who are spreading the propaganda online for the Mohammeds. That's where your problem lies. Being proactive is where the government needs to go. Whenever they have a PNC protest in Guyana, you know, they're always protesting the PPP. To the blacks who are watching me, I want to knock some sense into your head. Whenever you have a protest, for whatever reason, was there ever a time when the Mohammeds supported you? Never. They never did. For nothing. Forget them. Your protest that brought about changes for you was never validated by a large percentage of the Indo-Guyanese community, even though they were affected with the same thing you were complaining about. They were patient enough to understand that the government has to deliver, but trying to force the government to deliver when the government don't have resources allocated for that problem, it is making the problem worse because they have to take from one area and put to this area, and then when you get here, you're going to start complaining about the area that is deprived. So the Indian mentality is, let the government see how they can sort that out. But you, the blacks, with your emotions attached to this one thing, you're not looking at the after effects of achieving what you want as to all the destruction that will follow. You're not concerned about that. The Indian will concern himself about that. So he would not stand with your protest because he realized that it is to his detriment. It's not about not supporting you. He has to look at the bigger picture. Now, and you always complain, or the Indian people don't come out and support protests when black people are protesting. You always complain, right? Always. What I want to know, these Indian nationals who work for an Indian company that has no black people in their group, none. They don't socialize with you. They don't communicate with you. They don't follow you online. Nothing. They have no interest in you. They had an issue with their brother from India who hired them. An Indian opposition leader who has a personal axe to grind with an Indian president and vice president got into a fight to vent their own frustration the best way they can. Azruddin Mohammed used a situation regarding Indians to throw stones at an Indian president because he has issues with Ali. The blacks who have expressed so-called support and sentiments and have joined the fight against their Guyanese born and bred and raised president. He might be Indo-Guyanese, but he is one of you. You join with an Indian group to destroy an Indian president who's born in Guyana. How does that make sense? You are the one who always say that Indian people don't support anything black people do. Why the fuck you getting involved with Indian nationals who has issues with an Indian company that didn't hire you? They hire their own people from India. But you join an Indo-Guyanese opposition leader who reached out to help his own people from India against an Indo-Guyanese president, and you dumb niggas are siding with these Indians from India and calling for their justice against another Indian. You fucking assholes. How does it work? Justify it. You always say Indians don't support you. You always say that. Now you have an opportunity to say, hey, we didn't vote for you, Azruddin, for you to go meddle in issues concerning India. You're not even concerning the ghettos in Guyana. You're not even doing anything with the ghettos. You go take this case that has nothing to do with Guyanese or us black people, and you want us to come and support you, and you're fighting for Indians who are not Guyanese, who are just migrant workers, who are not hired by the government of Guyana or a Guyanese company. You got to be real stupid, Azruddin, to think that that's what we put you there for. We want no part of this, because at the end of the day, you guys don't support black protests, so we ain't getting involved with this shit. Answer me. How and why? You just think that you should get involved because of what? You just want any situation as long as the target is Irfan Ali. Even if some Chinese from China called for a protest against a Chinese company in Guyana, you dumb niggas would join that protest because you have an opportunity to say, it's Irfan Ali and his friend is Sue. Human slavery. Modern day slavery. I'm trying to figure shit out. And a lot of you are so illiterate, I have to break it down for you. You always accusing the Indians of being racial. Matter of fact, that's what you call Ali and his government. Now you have a chance to boycott something that comes from a group of people that you call racial. But you have your so-called leader like Simona Brooms and fucking Walters Desir and these fucking assholes from the other side are pushing sentiments to make you feel responsible that you have a right to support these nationals from India who has lived and enjoyed comfort that you would never enjoy for 3+ years. Job security they had, insurance security they had, all of that. You ain't got it, but they got it. And because they have a grievance that was inflamed, amplified by a bitter Indo-Guyanese man, paid protest, you're going to stand with him? How does that put food on your table? How does that help your bank account? How does that help your cause by saying the government is discriminated against black people? How the fuck does that help you? You see why it would never help you? Because you're listening to the wrong people. You're following the wrong people. PNC, David Hines, Sherrod Duncan, and all these others, they're poison to you niggas. Poison. This is why you get involved with all these shitty things that have nothing to do with you, because your leaders tell you to do that. And your leaders are the ones who are enjoying the tax breaks. The gas prices are not affecting them. They have no issues with grocery prices. They have no issues with that. Their eyes are focused on the oil money. Every night they go to bed fantasizing how wealthy they will be if they were in government. So they have to think of ways to try to inflame the public, the black people, to put all their common sense aside and bring back that Barnum spirit of violence and protest and looting. They're working overtime for that to happen, because why? They want to destabilize Guyana, to bring down the country so that they can have a chance to get into government to steal, to fucking steal. Azruddin Mohammed will go to prison, but he will not go to prison as a broke black man. He will go to prison as a rich Indian man. You understand? Him and his father. And there's nothing you can do or say that you will wake up the next day rich. Absolutely nothing. All these narratives that is being pushed about Region 10 chairman, Region 7 chairman or whatever it is, REO who was not changed, Kar Singh. I don't know Kar Singh. I don't give a fuck about Kar Singh or none of them. But my thing is with that, Ganesh Mahipal. Let me take some coffee. Fuck, man. Ganesh Mahipal. Just a few weeks ago, you robbed a black woman. Ganesh Mahipal. Just a few weeks ago. You robbed a black woman while you were in government. Ganesh Mahipal. Not as an opposition, as a government official. You took from a black woman. And you are still coming online trying to portray an innocent aura, the halo of an angel, and you like Azruddin Mohammed, the biggest fucking criminal? If someone is good at their job, they're delivering on the job, they're doing their best, why should you recycle them? There are a lot of ministers in the government who was not changed, like one Edgel, Anil Nandalal, Vice President Barjaglio, the Prime Minister. There are many ministers in the cabinet that served 2020, 2025, and they were not recycled. Most of the others were changed, but they were not. What it meant that they have secrets for Ali? One Edgel has secrets for Ali? Vice President has secrets for Ali? You fucking asshole. So because this one this one REO was not recycled, he has secrets for Ali? You going spying on a man's house? You have the document to show that that man has the ranch, he owns the ranch, is it in his name? You have the documents, the deeds of that house to show that this is the man's house? You have that evidence, you didn't post it? I am having headaches, and I constantly say, I consider myself one of the champions for the PPP. I am doing far much more than the ministers are doing. Far much more. How come I'm not benefiting? If the PPP is only supporting their friends and family, then what am I, the enemy? What am I, the foster child? The outcast? I'm benefiting. So where is it that the PPP is supporting or giving to their friends and family? You're telling me if you are working for a government as an REO or anything, and 6 years after you can't afford to build your own house in an oil economy for a government that is giving free money to the citizens, and you are a slave for the government and you can't afford to get a loan to build your own house, then you should resign. You shouldn't wait for them to change you. You should resign. Say, hey, fuck it, I'll do better in the private sector. So because government officials or employee public servants builds a house that a private man can build in a year, it takes them 6 years to build. It's corruption. Who says that government officials must live like junkies? Not even the pimp, the hoe. They have to live like lowlifes. Who says that? Which country? The fact that you are a public servant is the lowest position you can have. It doesn't mean you have to live like a lapdog as well. When you are a government employee, the banks trust you more because they know where your money comes from. Your loans are tied directly to your salary, your paycheck. The government can't fire you like that. So you get easy access to loans as a public employee, minister, whatever it is, even worse. The private sector employees has issues getting loans fast from the bank, not government employees. But now, thanks to Ali, he's making it easy for anybody to get loans from the bank. He is standing behind them. He is ensuring the loans for everybody from the bank. 0 interest. And you're making an issue because an REO, after 6 years, slaving, working for you, build a home for his family, that's supposed to be breaking news. The man should have been fired because everybody else was fired. They weren't fired, they were just recycled. They get the same salary, maybe even more, a different post. He is doing well at what he's doing. Why change him? He's familiar with the territory, he knows his job. Why change him? Because you said so, Ganesh Mahipal? Then let conviction start with you. Give that black woman back the money you got for that thing you sell, that duty-free that you sell, you sold. Give her her money. Clean shop in your house first. Charity begins at home. It starts with your own personal conviction. I'll remind the public if you think that they forgot. But every little thing they push out there, which is normal, that's what they do. That's politics. Oh, it's corruption. Oh, look at Ali's friends and family. Oh, look at this. Well, guess what? If that's how easy it is to get compensation from the Ali government, then I'm doing the wrong thing. Because I said many times, and I have to keep I have to keep nagging, I have to fucking nag. Because I'm doing it wrong. I am certainly doing it wrong. Because all these people that you people are pointing a finger at and saying, look, corruption there, the government is giving him this, giving him that. They're not doing shit. They're just doing their job 9 to 5. They go to the office, they serve the public, that's it. They're not concerning themselves with politics and no. They're public servant. They go to the office and they do their thing, that's it. Kash Patel wrote a very thin children's book for Donald Trump a few years ago. One book. Look at Kash Patel. He's a FBI director. He's world renowned. He got Maduro, Castro, the Mexico drug dealer. He's going to get Azruddin and his father. I wrote 8 books, 8, to honor Prince Ali and the president, as in President Ali. I'm still broke. I ain't got a government position. I'm not Home Affairs Minister. I got no compensation, no acknowledgement, nothing. So you tell me, how does this work? How does it work? What friends and family? You mean I did all of that and I'm still not a friend? I'm still not a family in the PPP? I'm not a friend to Ali and all of what I've done? My thing in saying that, folks, my thing in saying that is to speak to your good angels. So you use your common sense. All this claim of corruption, of Ali helping friends and families and PPP loyalists, there's no such thing. There is no such thing as PPP loyalists. There is no such thing as friends and families, no such thing. The only evidence I have right now to say that there is a situation with friends and families in the PPP is Bishop Edgel's son, who is the REO of Region 4. That's the only evidence. It's his son. That's family. But that man is not Ali's son. He's not Ali's family. By virtue of his father in the PPP may get to know this person because they must know the man's family. And the man followed his father's footsteps in politics, earned his way. The fact that he has a Edgel's name, the first thing to say is, hey, you see, look, family. But why don't we look at the track record of Edgel's son to see how much contribution he would have made politically to the party? Doesn't mean he's a loyalist. It means that he followed his father's footsteps. That's the only evidence I have. There's nothing else there. All the other people that are fingered to have benefited based on Azruddin Mohammed and these assholes from the PNC, they're not family to Ali or Jagmeal. They're black. Some are Hindus. So where does the narrative fits that these men are embezzling money and stealing money from taxpayers. Where? The Auditor General's report breaks down all the spending, public spending. So where in the Auditor General's report, it says that monies were not accounted for, it went to minister's pocket or REO's pocket or whoever pocket. Where? If you're claiming that these people give themselves land and then they develop this land, where are the evidence? The people who work at the land registry, most are black. You don't think they would leak these things out? There is none. There is no evidence to support the conspiracies or the lies coming from the PNC and the Win Party. None. It is just the fact that they are jealous that they lost, and they lost to an idiot. So they're trying to push whatever they can push for the upcoming elections, the regional elections in Guyana, the local government elections, hoping that they can regain some prominence in the country by getting councillors or whatever district they can win. This is what this is about. But it has nothing to do with any credible information that the Ali government or Irfan Ali himself is involved in any level of corruption, any conspiracy to corrupt the people of Guyana, to rob the people. There's none. You see things circulating on social media from the security guard in London, Norman Brown and the others, about Irfan Ali and his wife embezzling some 100 million a year. What's the objective? I told you before how much money that man earns. I told you before. What is the objective of spreading all of these fake news? It's to appeal to the average Afro-Guyanese who blames his condition on the Indo-Guyanese. And now we have an Indo-Guyanese president to say, well, you see, we are poor because these people are robbing and they're stealing and they're helping themselves and their friends, and they're not giving to the blacks. And so the blacks should go out and steal and rob and take from them and kill and whatever it is. They are appealing to that crowd. So that crowd have a chance to feel good in their poverty, their situation, to say, you see, yes, that's why he's not rich. That's why he's this. If they don't push these lies, nobody watches them. Nobody clicks on their videos. Nobody goes on their page. They have to spread these propaganda to get viewers. I don't need to do that. I write books, right? I don't need to spread nonsense like these other people. But I have to keep democracy alive and safe and secure in Guyana. At the end of the day, it is important for you to know where your information comes from. You have a good government that is loyal to the citizens of that country. Look, all the free stuff you're getting, all the grants, all the concessions, everything that you are getting. All the people are longing, are begging for this. You have one of the best lives in the Caribbean. Look at the bus drivers, how they are depriving the public of their daily commute. And when the government goes, before the campaign, during the campaign, I told you that the government of Irfan Ali is going to invest in transportation for the public, free transportation. I told you that. Go watch the videos. I said in 2025, the government is going to get a fleet of buses to provide free transportation to Guyanese citizens. I said it. Now the government is seeing the need for that. Now they're seeing the need for that. They give these losers a chance to have an industry. Buy your bus, provide services, go ahead. Don't abuse it, don't exploit it, do your thing. But they think they have the monopoly. These bus drivers, these operators, they think they have the monopoly. So the government now has to listen to the Guyanese people. Invest in 500 buses if you have to. Cut the cash grant for the next 5 years. Buy buses. Provide buses on the routes they should go, free of charge. Let the minibuses now compete for whatever little scrap that they will leave. Let them compete for that. Say, good, charge whatever you want. But all these fleet of buses are free to the Guyanese people. All the routes. The government should do that. Other countries are doing it. Other countries are doing it. So why can't the government do it? Provide transportation to the people, for the people. You have a transportation ministry for what? Just run it yourself and see what they will do. All them buses that are striking and all them buses that are making issue now, they would go and protest in front of Mohammed's house. They go protest in front of his house because he put them up to it. He induced them into going and protesting and making Ali look bad. Look, Ali is this, Ali. Okay. Buy buses, government, and give to the people. So all these conductors and these bus operators, they will go and protest Mohammed. They listen to him. And one other thing, when you talk about parts, you want to raise your prices because parts are expensive. How long does it take from the time you buy a bus to change an item on your bus? If it's a tire or something under the bus, some kind of wheel bearing, whatever it is, how long does it take? Sometimes years. In 1 year, you may change 0 tires. You may change, unless it is an accident that you caused, or you might be a victim of an accident. No matter how hard you drive your bus, even if you wreck your own bus, it will take at least 2 years after you bought the bus to change one part. Your oil servicing, changing your oil and your filter and all these things, how often do you do it? Every 3 months? 2 times a year? So if you are changing a part in the bus every 2 years, and you're working that same bus every day, 365 days a year, you're working that bus, earning based on your high tariffs. You want to tell me that if you have to pay 50 Guyana dollars, a little over, on one part in 2 years, that justifies you escalating your prices? You do oil change with your buses. You drove the bus. You're driving the bus. You need to do your oil change. It's your vehicle. Once every 4 months. If it's 2 gallons of oil with the bus, or your filter and your air filter and your oil filter, 3 items. Twice a year. What nonsense you talking about? Parts raise, this raise, that raise. If you wreck the fucking bus, then you need to drive your vehicle with care so your parts can last longer. These things are built for endurance. If they don't endure, it's not the government's fault, it's your fault. Care your stuff so you conserve on paying out your profit. The Ministry of Business is correct. Pace the prices in the vehicles and monitor them. So if the boss man wants to pull that paper, rip it away, then take his license. If you paste it, it should stay there. So people see what fares they pay. You don't need to remind them. They see, okay, this is what I pay. All these stupid claims they're making is just to abuse the system because the PNC and the WIN is pushing it for one objective, votes. Fine. Elections are coming up, local government elections. The bus operators are going to vote for WIN. Who else? The Indian nationals, the 38, they can get voters' ID because they're in the country for a while. They'll vote for WIN. That's it. But the rest of the country, the commuters, the people who take transportation, who have to pay these high costs, they're going to vote for the PPP. Because the PPP's government administration is trying to protect Guyanese citizens from abuse. So the PPP are going to get the votes from everybody else. But you'll be sure to get the bus drivers' votes, the Indian national votes. You'll get that, Azruddin. I mean, not you. You wouldn't be around, but your party will get it. WIN. I doubt it, because they're black. And those Indian nationals would say, huh, what? Huh? What happened to the other guy? Oh, he's not around? We're going to vote for Ali. We're going to vote for Ali. Ali is going to be the one we're going to vote for. Stupid asses. So, let's just get a little more from the book Narcissist. Prince Ali and the President, Narcissist. The Brown Deception. Betrayal. Let's continue before we go for today. Don't let the thickness of the book scare you. Just buy the book. Go buy the book. You have to read a lot in school, so come on. All right, continue in chapter 1, ships from Calcutta. Let's get it here. When slavery was abolished throughout the British Empire in the 19th century, the colonial plantation economy immediately faced a crisis. Sugar had already become too valuable for the empire to lose. The plantation still needed labor. Profits still needed protecting. And the British turned their eyes towards India, towards villages filled with poverty, toward men broken by famine, toward women carrying hopelessness quietly inside their eyes, toward families desperate to gamble their entire future on promises made by strangers. Recruiters moved through parts of India, offering dreams wrapped inside lies. Opportunity, land, wages, a better future abroad. Many signed contracts they could not fully read. Narcissist, The Brown Betrayal. Buy it today on Amazon.com and read it. Independence is coming up of Guyana. It is very sad that the organizations that represents Indian culture and truth in Guyana have not reached out to me. It's very sad. I guess they too don't want to be associated because I'm a racist. And they don't want to look bad in the eyes of the blacks to say they're going to, put my books on display. That's my sin. That's my crime, my platform. But at this independence, all my books should have been displayed at these events. All of it should have been on sale, displayed for people to have access to it. Because when you talk about Guyanese independence, you have to understand who contributed largely to that. And from then to now, how the country has become, how the country has triumphed, And who is largely responsible for that? You can't just go through it every year, the same format. You got some songs, you got some military display, you get this, and the same thing, same shit. We have to embrace the facts, the truth about what needs to be addressed. Maybe if I was running a church platform, maybe I'll get some acknowledgement. You know, these politicians, they're posing with Vibes Cartel and these people who are beating each other up and singing about racism and violence. And yeah, they have recognition from that, but I'm the black sheep in the PPP. I say it like it is. You're offended and whatever. Let's get some your comments. Okay. Okay, we have Nina saying they're doing a great job. Who is they? Oh, the government. Do not. Bibi says, yes, doctor, tell them Dunce head, DYNCE. I like the way Guyanese make up their own grammar. Yes, anyway. So I want to thank you for your attention. Remember, every donation, every book that is sold goes towards the Dorga Foundation, and it helps to support our work. But thanks for your attention. Share this live. I want to hear from you in the comment section. Give me the thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Facebook. Subscribe to TikTok. Anywhere you see Uncensored Guyana or Dr. Prasad or anywhere you see, subscribe, follow, and let us continue the work. We have a very important elections that's coming up. And we have to make sure that we debunk all these lies, all these fake news, so that the government stands a chance in regaining and gaining control, especially of the town of Linden and Georgetown, New Amsterdam. We need the PPP to dominate the elections in these towns if we want Guyana to grow together. For Guyana to grow together as one country, one nation, one Guyana, the PPP must secure victory at the local government elections of all the municipalities throughout the country. Azruddin is an asshole, he's a liar, he's a devil, he's a thief, and he will soon gone. When he's gone, the PNC will have to find a real job, making a difference in the lives of their constituents by spreading the truth and supporting the agenda of the government that benefits all Guyanese. Until next time, good day.